Keen on tonight's show because I believe it's going to be a paternity test to find out which one of these gentlemen is my natural father.
Okay, I'll be talking at this level, I'll be talking at this level.
Unless there's a fight!
And then I'll say, we'll be right back. Good evening and welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Jerry Springer. Now, in the news this week, after the scare over contaminated pork, the Irish government calls in their top health and safety expert to personally inspect the product. And as Madonna rehearses for her world tour, there's evidence that her split from Guy Ritchie may be taking its toll. And as a new venue is chosen for the Olympic equestrian events, Tessa Jowell insists on trying out the facilities for herself.
That's a fantastic metaphor for New Labour, isn't it? Hanging on for dear life and going round in circles.
Do you know that, just a piece of trivia before we start, the reason why a circus ring is the diameter that it is, it's the smallest diameter that a horse can go round in a circle.
I can't believe that, actually.
That's what I understand. Yeah. What was it I bet you find difficult to believe?
Well, that a horse can't turn in something quite smaller than that. I mean, a black cab can turn in something smaller than that.
You're right, they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
I flew all the way over for this.
Yeah. That's the highlight.
You could have emailed me that.
I could have emailed you that,
exactly. That's
exactly.
the high note. OK. On Ian Hislop's team tonight is a former mayor of London who could easily have been on my show with a caption that read, "I thought you loved me, then you dumped me for a blonde." Please welcome Ken Livingstone. It's a better reading every day. And with Paul Merton tonight is a comedian who this week won Best Female Newcomer at the British Comedy Awards and who denies that her ITV sketch show is cruel, insisting that she only makes fun of the weirder fringes of life. Can't believe someone would do that for a living. Please welcome Katy Brand. Okay, in round one, we cover the biggest stories of the week. Ian and Ken, take a look at this.
It's money being handed out, must be the government.
Yeah.
No, it's threatening to take it away. That must be the government. This is the plan that everyone's got to offer themselves up for work if they're on benefits.
I didn't understand about this. If you work for 2 years full-time, you'll be eligible for benefits. Isn't that just a job?
This is a new set of government plans designed to get bums back to work just as soon as there's work to go back to.
Is that what they call it? Bums back to work?
Who's proposing this new legislation?
The Labour Party. The government.
James Purnell.
Lovely boy.
They will have to go to regular training courses and prove that they are actively looking for work by updating their CVs. Now, how would that go? 2007, I watched TV, mostly sat on my ass. 2008, I was watching TV, but I was lying down.
2009, gave up, Jerry Springer on again.
2010 appeared on Jerry Springer.
Anyway, if you don't show up for interviews, claimants will have their benefits cut. What does James Purnell know about not showing up?
Oh, he didn't turn up once to a photograph.
He was supposed to turn up at the opening hospital, couldn't make it, so they pasted him in.
Here's a photo of a hospital opening that James Purnell should have shown up to, but didn't. Now, here's the photo after it was altered slightly. Who did David Freud, a government advisor, suggest as good examples of people who managed to do a good job with a disability?
Blunkett. wasn't a joke. I'm glad you laughed. I suppose the fact that he'd done
Royal
a good job
family?
is quite funny.
Royal family.
Royal family.
Did you say the royal family, Jerry?
No, I'm asking you. Is it the, yeah.
No, I don't think the royal family would be involved in it.
Well, the answer is Stephen Hawking and Lord Nelson.
I've forgotten what the question was. I'm absolutely intrigued by the answer. Stephen Hawking and Lord Nelson. Most of the Battle of Trafalgar he directed from an airing cupboard in Wolverhampton.
You want to see someone else really doing a good job? Take a look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
That's a level of skill that's very rare to find. Presumably not shot in Britain, that.
No, that's from America's Got Talent. He wasn't bad, but the guy was really a singer. Which associate of Boris Johnson, you remember him, Ken, is looking for work at the moment?
That would be David Ross, who just borrowed 130 million, and I mean, why bother to mention something like that? It's just small change, isn't it?
Yeah, that sort of financial thing wouldn't have happened in your day, would it, Ken?
No one had done
None of
30
your
million.
associates had to
Not
go.
at all.
It was
Well, are we
his
gonna
own
see
firm's
the
money
clip?
rather than the ratepayers, wasn't it?
You really want to go to a clip now, don't you?
Anything rather than distract attention from the iniquities of your regime.
I had one member of staff go for salacious emails. No cost involved.
That's the
Well,
worst bit of spin
don't know,
I
it
have
could
ever
be.
heard.
How did Boris Johnson react to this? Look how he deals with these very tough journalists.
What are you going to do about David Ross?
I am going, whatever it is, I'm going to tell you now. No.
What are you going to do about David Ross?
Nothing. La, 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 la.
I wish I'd thought of that.
Yeah, there was you saying, I stand by Lee Jasper, and all he had to say was la la la.
This is the guy who beat you?
Yeah. Well, can I... Mind you, it's this programme's fault. No one had heard of him until he was on here. I mean, he was sitting there, next thing you know, he's mayor.
He has a newspaper column.
He does.
Yeah, and he concentrates, as I understand, on the more important issues of the day. Take a look. When did Christmas trees get so expensive?
I think it never happened before Boris was mayor.
We used to have a free Christmas tree shoved through our letterbox when Ken was mayor.
Yeah, that
If you were tying your shoelaces up in the hallway, you'd think all about it. I'm intrigued by your glasses. You seem to lift them up when you're reading.
Well, because I needed to see far away, but
yes,
not
of
to
course.
see close.
I understand.
Do they have bifocals in America?
They're not allowed to marry.
Oh, sorry. I can see the ticker at the bottom of his show. I was a bifocal.
More serious politician. Let's go to, Gordon Brown, your Prime Minister. What did he claim to do?
He claimed to have saved the world, and it was
Okay,
very embarrassing.
we have the quote. The first point of recapitalization was to save banks. We not only saved the world, saved the banks, and led the way. It's probably because you've got this empire thing going.
I like the idea you think we still have an empire. Gosh, I thought history was badly taught over here.
The Germans don't think Gordon has saved the world, do they?
No. The German finance minister was jolly rude.
That's the first time in history that ever happened.
It is outrageous because after Gordon's borrowed all this money, the debt of Britain will be almost as much as Germany.
So do you think it's hypocritical of him, then?
I think perhaps Gordon made that mistake of doing that chant about 2 world wars and 1 world company. It really pisses him off.
I can't imagine him singing that at a summit.
Yes. Come on. Gordon's a real laugh behind the scenes.
Once he gets the spoons out, he's great, isn't he?
His name's Pierre Steinbrück, and he asked this question. Are you really going to buy a DVD player because it now costs $39.10 instead of $39.90? Well, are you?
That's taking VAT off. That's what they said was a hopeless gesture. Yeah. They are jolly rude.
If you'd increase the VAT by 2.5%, everyone said it's the end of civilisation as we know it. You take it off and say, oh, it makes no bloody difference. You can't win.
Well, you can't, Ken.
Who did Alistair Darling get to meet this week?
David Walliams, I
Yes.
saw it in the paper.
Dressed as a lady.
Was he?
Yes.
That must have been competition with David Walliams.
Alistair Darling actually looks like he's falling in love a little bit.
Which one is Alistair Darling?
The one with the silly eyebrows.
What is he doing?
I don't know, you can't see where his hand is.
Okay, staying with politics, did you see that the inventor of the clangers died this week?
Yeah, Oliver Postgate.
Yes.
Very sad.
He caused such controversy with this episode, broadcast during the 1974 election campaign, that it was swiftly withdrawn and never transmitted again.
The noise? Well, that's the election campaigns of the political parties. Yes, political parties, you know. People who think a particular policy is in their own or the country's best interests. Well, they call themselves a political party. What for? Well, so they can have a cause. They can act together to defeat other political parties and get what they want. Don't you understand?
The creator of the clangers and Bagpuss passed away this week. Talking about Bagpuss's enduring popularity, Connie Huck said, Bagpuss wasn't your normal TV character. He was saggy, fat, and pink. Well, I hear it worked for John Sargent. All right, Paul and Katie, here's yours.
OK. That's Michael Hordern as Scrooge in A Christmas Carol, so there's something to do with mean Christmases.
Dame Helen Mirren.
Dame Helen Mirren, she's bought on their way to Pound Busters, things have gone bad. That's a very small plate of Christmas dinner. Postman, there's a lot of stories going on in here, Jerry. I'm rather confused by this avalanche of news. Oh, look, there's the Christmas tree coming through from Ken.
Is it about having a sort of crap Christmas because of the economic crisis?
Yeah.
This is the news that the Queen's crackers are going to be cheap ones this year. And as a credit crunch Christmas approaches, this week we also saw the busiest online shopping day of the year.
Is the Queen seriously buying cheaper Christmas crackers? Is that a true story?
That's what I'm asking you. What other cost-cutting measures is the Queen taking in the run-up to
Is
Christmas?
she getting cheaper Christmas crackers? I'm answering my own question here. I could stay at home and have as good a time as I am now.
So could we.
Yeah.
No, you're doing very well.
Thank you, Jerry. Nice to be patronised by a man who's brought some of his qualities to the world of television.
Also, according to the News of the World, the Queen has urged grandsons William and Harry to keep their winter holidays as low-key as possible. So that's it for the Hookers and Nazis ski weekend in San Luis. Meanwhile, who's been spotted in Woolies?
David Cameron.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, yes.
You knew they were doomed the moment you saw him in there, you know.
A lot of people were complaining because they were advertising it as 50% off, but in fact, when they got in, it was only 10 or 20% off, wasn't it? Yeah. There was a very disappointed guy outside who, on the news earlier, just going, there's nothing in there, there's no plasmas, there's nothing.
What was the last thing you bought in Woolworths?
DVD would have been. Lust and Caution, it was called.
Lust and Caution.
Lust and Caution.
Was that a self-help guide by Boris Johnson?
Always lock the door. Who's coming?
Online shopping is the perfect way to avoid queues in high street shops. You get to queue up outside parcel force depots instead. To try and avoid this, what is Royal Mail planning to do just before Christmas?
The postman having to walk at a regulated speed.
Oh, yeah.
They have to walk 4 miles an hour to deliver the mail. This isn't just walking in a park. No wonder they just throw the mail at the house.
Isn't it full of students, the post office?
That's a long time. I mean, I did that.
I did that as well.
Yeah, so did I.
They should, and they work. We should have a reunion.
Sit around a load of parcels unproperly addressed saying, oh, don't worry about that.
Bet Ken never thought I'd been a post office worker.
Did you join the union?
Does anyone know the best-selling gift so far online? Here's a clue. Borat.
Oh, the leotard thing. Is it the green leotard thing?
It's the mankini! Here's another idea.
Oh, I saw this. This is a mug with Jesus' portrait on it, and...
How did you figure that out? You're unbelievable.
I watch a lot of daytime television. When you put the hot water or hot liquid in that, the beard disappears. Do we get to see the effect of the beard disappearing as hot liquid goes in?
No.
Look, I don't make the budget of this show. They couldn't...
Would a cup of hot water push us way into the red? Have you seen this set? Look at it.
Meanwhile, what has Nancy Dell'Olio been telling Jeremy Paxman?
She was on to talk about things that people might like to buy for Christmas, and she's brought out a range of lingerie, hasn't she?
Here she is on Newsnight this week discussing the cost of Christmas.
So, and should we use much more fantasy to help us? And that's, I think, what we're going to turn. When I talk about values, I think we need more fantasy to use our intelligence, and not necessarily to absolute equality, where it's when, I think rules has been over too much, and rules needs to change. So,
I'm sorry,
it'd be
I'm
easy
to study what you're talking about.
She was on there promoting some bras and pants.
Well, who's going to buy them now?
Exactly. I don't think you buy them for women who talk. I don't know why I said that. It doesn't matter.
Should we pretend it didn't happen?
Would you mind?
What a charming carpet you have here.
Yes, it's the news that even the Queen is going to have a frugal Christmas. Pulling the crackers is always a tense affair at Buckingham Palace as Charles proudly puts on a paper crown and is instantly ordered to take it off by his mother. This week also saw the busiest online shopping day, Mega Monday. The Times included a list of some of the most popular online presents, including for $15.99, Dawn French's autobiography, Dear Fatty. That's not Dear Fatty, that's extortionate.
It's all right laughing at the Queen, but don't laugh at Dawn.
So at the end of that round, 2 points each.
Whee.
Okay, and so to round two, it's Jerry's Jigsaw of News. Okay, fingers on the buzzers. Ready, guys?
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's beginning to emerge there, but somebody has done some research that shows that animals have a much wider range of emotions than some scientists previously thought. I think sort of dog owners have always felt that the dogs have the ability to feel remorse or nostalgic or a slight sense of whimsy. Irony. The Pekingese is very strong on irony. Walks around saying, I'm not really Chinese at all.
This is the research by animal psychologists indicating that dogs are capable of emotions such as jealousy and pride.
I'm surprised they needed research to discover. Anyone who's ever kept a dog will know they've got all that range of emotions. They almost become like a member of the family. And actually, I think my parents preferred our dogs to me, you know.
We have turned into Jerry Springer.
Yes, there's my old dog about to come on set.
Well, we had a show called I Married My Horse.
Oh, I saw that.
You saw it.
I saw it,
You're
yeah.
a lonely woman. What's been the news recently that dogs might get jealous about? This is horrible.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you.
Change the subject.
again.
I don't choose this. I'll get it. I wanted to move on, and they just keep putting these
Jerry,
questions
you're not
here.
a slave to those cards. Burn them! Burn
Burn them. Chuck them.
Chuck 'em, get rid of them.
Chuck them.
Don't worry about any of that. Who's got any jokes?
No, that's liberation. Doesn't that feel better?
Yeah,
It does feel better.
Yeah.
But now I got to rip this card too because we had 5 more things.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of
Get rid of that too. All right. Hey. This is a punishment. All right, moving on.
Yay.
Everybody buzz.
We haven't seen the picture, but I'm willing to give it a go.
Here we go. Oh.
This is the governor of Illinois
yes.
who is trying to flog Barack Obama's Senate seat for about £500,000, and the FBI have tape recorded him talking to all these people who think they might buy it. And Barack Obama said, nothing to do with me, and called on him to resign.
He's right.
Is that how it works in the States? You just buy the seat?
No, well, no, it's not supposed to. Yes? Yeah. I live in Chicago because that's where we do our show. And that's obviously part of the state of Illinois. And it's unbelievable because they had him wired.
Haven't 3 of the last 10 governors of Illinois gone to prison?
4 of the last 8.
4 of the last 8,
People get it right.
How dare you suggest we're not very corrupt indeed?
This is the prosecutor. Listen to what he had to say about Illinois.
I don't have 49 other states to compare it with. But I can tell you one thing. If it isn't the most corrupt state in the United States, it's certainly one hell of a competitor.
I'm outraged. To suggest that other states can compete with us is...
We know how you feel. It's like when someone says that Britain's 2nd teenage pregnancy rate in Europe. It's infuriating.
I thought we were first.
We are. But people lie, Ken. They...
Well, I remember now, when Barack Obama won, what really helped him in that Senate election was that his Republican opponent's wife came out, Jerry Ryan, and said that her husband had been making her go to sex bars.
Does a sex bar have a happy hour?
Well, like 2 for 1.
You look like you're racking your memory, Jerry.
yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
But it's true, my memory's right.
It does. All right. The governor of Illinois, Rod Blagojevich, has been accused of trying to sell Barack Obama's vacant seat in the Senate. As investigators try and establish how much he was aware of the alleged corruption, this could present an embarrassing situation for Barack Obama. At least when George Bush said, "I don't know anything," we believed him. Which means at the end of this round, it's Ian and Ken with 4, Paul and Katy 4. Oh my gosh, we have a tie.
Is it raining right
Okay, time now for the odd one out round. Ian and Ken, your 4 are David Cameron, David Soul,
Yep.
Ken Livingstone, and Randy Bumgardner.
Who's Randy Bumgardner?
Oh, I'm so glad I was here to hear you say that. David Soul wears his glasses like you, Jerry.
Oh. Well, isn't that interesting? Because he played me in the opera.
Oh, wow.
I've been played in...
Oh, you've been played.
Has Bumgarden, or whatever his name is.
Has he been in Bumgarden or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
We know his name's Randy Bumgarden. There's no 2 ways about it. What was his parents thinking of?
Certainly
What was his
no one...
mother thinking of when she met a guy called Bumgarden? Yeah, I want to marry you.
No one's done a play or opera about David Cameron, say Bumgarden or whatever. Has had a play or opera about him, that's it. I'm doing my best.
Good.
Cameron's the odd one out, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody odd.
Well, here's the deal. They have all...
Hang on a sec, give us a clue first.
A clue?
Yeah.
Find another job. No, they have all worked for a president except for David Cameron. although he would love to work for President-elect Obama.
I don't work for Hugo Chavez. I'd love to, nice guy and all that, but there we are.
You never worked for him, though. You had a consultancy role, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, you're being a little defensive, aren't you? We haven't even mentioned him yet.
No, I'm guessing where it's going. I just popped over there and had a chat for about an hour.
Is that it? So all these stories in the press are nonsense? There's no retainer?
No, not got a penny.
There's no barrel of oil in your front room?
I'm quite happy to go and have a chat whenever. Venezuela's a nice place. Why don't we go there together? I'll introduce you.
Thank you, Ken. It's the best offer I've had, well, in the last minute.
I think we're beginning to see the beginning of something rather beautiful.
And when you break up, then you come on my show.
Yeah.
But I hope it really works out between you.
Thank you.
Cameron, he got to meet Obama.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
Yeah, this is what he had to say. It's the highlight of his year. And what did Obama say about David Cameron?
Who are you?
Are you my taxi driver?
Well, according to the New Statesman, Obama said, what a lightweight. On the day he met David Cameron, Obama also had talks with Gordon Brown. According to the Sunday Mirror, quote, Downing Street officials heard gales of laughter as the two men sat on a terrace behind number 10. The pair discussed soaring fuel prices as well as the crisis in Iraq. Hilarious! Boy, that guy knows how to tell a joke. You hear the one about Baghdad? Now, according to the Evening Standard, David Sowell once stuffed envelopes for JFK while JFK was busy stuffing... Well, let's not... Ken Livingstone is working as a consultant for Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez.
You can't just announce that when he's denied it. You know, this is England. It's not America, you know.
Shall we have a lie detector test?
Yeah. Or a fight.
According to The Guardian, shortly after taking Ken on as a consultant to his regime in Venezuela, Chavez lost control of the capital city in regional elections. That old magic rubbing off. Randy Bumgardner.
This is your life.
You may not know this, but he is the general manager of Blair House, and that is the U.S. President's state guest house. Yeah. Randy Bumgardner's father is called Delmar Bumgardner, and his...
In an attempt to take the curse off Bumgardner, people consider the Delmar.
And his mother was Loretta Mincy. Just as well they didn't go double-barreled, or Randy would have been a Mincy Bumgardner. Paul and Katy, here's your odd one out. West Ham fans?
Yes?
The TARDIS, late-night revelers in Bolton, and beluga whales.
Late-night revelers in Bolton were being encouraged or being handed out sort of little containers of sort of bubble mix so they could blow bubbles when they come out of clubs and pubs, and apparently this is meant to sort of stop people getting violent, it's sort of playful and all that kind of thing. So if I remember that rightly, the West Ham fans, their song is I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles, so that indicates that must be what it's about.
Beluga whales, they blow pockets of air around inside their heads.
Do they?
And that makes their heads change shape, so they like blow internal bubbles.
God, wouldn't it be great to be able to do that on the tube?
I know.
I think, well, the TARDIS, I don't know if I've made this up or something I remember. Was it originally the TARDIS going to be, instead of being a police box, was going to be a huge bubble that sort of travelled through time and space? So bubbles are the theme. Perhaps the TARDIS is the odd one out because all the other ones are...
I've got bubbles.
I've got bubbles.
He's right.
Yeah. We have the original blueprint.
That's the original TARDIS blueprint. Yeah. As opposed to somebody drawing a circle at Wednesday afternoon in the office. That'll do, show them that. It's not a complete circle, is it, either?
No.
Well, that's where they get in and out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to get in there. Oh, just well, I didn't design it.
Boozed-up revelers in Bolton have been given children's bubble blowers by police as they leave pubs and clubs during the festive season. The plan to distribute bubble-blowing machines to drinkers in Bolton seemed to be working until one clubber, we call her Katy, turned to his mate shouting, "Oi, did you spill my bubble mix?"
They're probably drinking it, aren't they?
Yeah. Meanwhile, what are drunken women in Torbay being given?
Drink.
No. Seriously, they're given flip-flops. It's to prevent them from twisting their ankles by trying to walk home drunk in high heels. Flip-flops will be given to anyone whose footwear is uncomfortable, inappropriate, or soiled. I just don't want anyone ever complaining about my show again.
So who's giving them the flip-flops? Where have they come from?
Oh,
I just need a new pair, so I was thinking of going down there, that's all.
well, soil your shoes and you'll got it.
Oh, I'm way ahead of you, Jerry.
I know. Beluga whales can blow bubbles. And here they are blowing bubbles at an aquarium in Japan. That is, oh.
Evening. That's very sweet.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that if you found one in your wardrobe.
Now, according to the Mirror, beluga whales are often known as sea canaries because of their high-pitched squeaks and whistles. And because if you put one down a mine, it dies. Whales have surprisingly good communication skills. According to the Telegraph, scientists in Japan have given a beluga whale a vocabulary of 3 words. Stop harpooning me. Which means at the end of this round, it is Ian and Ken 5, Paul and Katy have 6.
Oh, why?
Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication the International Magazine on Pig Production. Pig Progress. I actually own a pig.
Do you?
That's true. I bought a pig.
They make good pets, I think.
No, yeah, not a potbelly pig, a 400-pound pig. Well, actually, it was being auctioned off at a county fair.
So you bought her and saved her life?
I did. But I had a bid. It cost me, honestly, $1,000 to save Bella.
That's terrible. $1,000, that's £1,000.
Here's the worst part. Bella could live 25 years. I'm not going to live 25 years now. Bella is now in my will. I swear to God. Do we have a picture of Bella? There's Bella. That's Bella. Oh, Bella. My rabbi got really ticked off.
Really? Well, yes.
Well, you're not eating it?
Yeah. That's what I told him. I said, I'm making America kosher, one pig at a time. All right, okay. Prince Andrew ordered cops to chase what?
Golf balls.
Ding, you are right.
We're behind in the last straight, Ken. I hope this isn't a precedent.
Yeah. Well, a former security guard has alleged that while Prince Andrew practices golf, members of the Royal Protection Department were made to act as ball boys. Seems like a rather degrading job for a fully trained police officer looking after Prince Andrew. Next, my man is mince pie mad, and now I've discovered what?
He's actually Father Christmas.
He's having it off with an apple turnover.
I react badly to pastry is the answer. And a woman in Yorkshire who's allergic to pastry has discovered her husband is addicted to mince pies. Yes, this is a man who eats up to 20 mince pies a week. It's a genuine addiction, or as we call it in America, a diet. And next, Wogan gives up what?
Eurovision.
You are unbelievable.
It is, and there was a fire. Wogan was 5 minutes away from being burnt to a cinder.
Oh, really?
Yes, there was a fire at his house.
Make fun.
Smoke alarms went off.
How big?
Fire brigade came round, put it out. This is huge news. Athens is completely on fire. Wogan's house, not quite on fire.
But it was the fire brigade said something along the lines of this is, you know, because I think they had a tumble dryer sort of drying clothes in the middle of the night, and they said tumble dryers, washing machines, dishwashers, all these can catch fire. How can a dishwasher catch fire? Where is the fire element coming in? There's lots of water. Am I losing you? There's lots of water in a dishwasher.
What are you all talking about?
We're very interested in domestic appliances.
Yeah, well, he has announced that he's quitting the Eurovision Song Contest. Katy, wasn't your spoof of Lily Allen mistaken for the real thing?
It was, yeah. I did a spoof of a Lily Allen track and I called it Banal. And it was all about having a cup of tea. And it was got some Radio 1 airplay. And, yeah, some people phoned in and one person said they thought it was a return to form for Lily Allen.
Next, top 10 worst predictions ever include what?
I will be back for another term, says Ken.
It's the iPod. Alan Sugar said that the iPod wasn't going to last anything. He said in 2004, the iPod's finished, it's useless, it's rubbish, and since then they've sold about 170 million of them.
You said that because you looked at the teleprompter.
Yeah, I saw it said iPod there.
Well, it's true. Yep, Alan Sugar, you were right, made this prediction. He said the iPod would be dead by next Christmas.
He said we'd all be listening to our faxes.
Not the worst business decision Alan Sugar's ever made. I'm told he let Ruth Badger slip through his fingertips.
What? Ruth Badger?
I am saying stuff I don't know anything about. So, was the lost what ever really lost?
It must be the lost people of Agabooboo. Or we haven't had a pig one for a while,
No,
have
we haven't had a pig one at all.
Was the lost mythical pig of Leicestershire ever really lost? The big pig of Leicester. The Leicester pig. Yeah.
It was the lost city of Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu, that's it, yeah. It was never lost, it's just that Europeans hadn't found it.
Yeah.
You're right. American explorer Hiram Bingham's claim to have discovered the Inca city in 1911 is being challenged. You see, for years, the city of Machu Picchu lay unvisited and shunned by locals. Machu Picchu roughly translate as Milton Keynes. Well, we have a final score. Ian and Ken, 8. Paul and Katy, 7.
Oh. Hey.
I think I earned that.
But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot that.
Yeah, wow. This is the bit they edit out every week. So let's bear that in mind as we struggle towards something funny.
You put the show on every week?
Yeah. We thought every day would be torture.
Okay, you get this.
Every year, thousands of objects fall from outer space.
Top Gear launches in Baghdad.
And I leave you with news that in response to the new iPod Nano, Albania's top computer company launches its own MP3 player. In California, David Guest admits that one of the reasons his marriage to Liza Minnelli failed is that he actually prefers younger women. And in North London, there's a bad moment for Boris Johnson as he pulls open his curtains to see a new business has opened up across the road. Good night.
Peter Serafinowicz and some of his best bits in half an hour, and more comedy next on BBC Two. Martin Freeman, Omid Jalili, and the razor-sharp wit of Simon Amstel. Never mind the buzzcocks.
So what have we learned from tonight's show? There are no winners or losers here, except Paul. But Ian, you have to remember there's more to life than winning a news quiz. You two have to sort out your differences or this whole thing could end up in court. Where I'm afraid Ian will, in return to form, once again be the loser. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Good night.